Hello everyone, today we'll be unboxing another figurine for the week. Here we have is a figurine from the manufacturer and distributor Good Smell Company. A figurine part of its pop-up parade line is an L-size PVC figure of the character Julianne Natalie Stingray, or Jill Stingray, from the visual novel video game Valhalla. As always, before we take the figurine out of its packaging, just in case you didn't know, Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action is a visual novel developed originally as a concept for the Cyberpunk Games Jam in 2014. It was later made as a full game developed by Venezuelan studio Sukeban Games in 2016 for PC, then was ported to other platforms later in the years. The story writer for the game is Fernando Damas, and the art created by Christopher Ortiz, while the game uses Game Master Studio Engine. The game focuses on the main protagonist, Julianne Natalie Stingray, or Jill Stingray for short, in a cyberpunk dystopia, who works as a bartender in the slums, and according to the game, in Hall A of BTC certified barcode VA-11. Hence the bar name VA-11 Hall A, or Valhalla. There was a planned sequel for the game called Nirvana Cyberpunk Bartender Action, slated for 2020, but from what I read, issues occurred throughout the developing and stuff like that, so it's an indefinite delay, so there hasn't been an update since. So here we have is Julianne Stingray's pop-up box rotating in 360. So without holding you guys back, let's take Jill Stingray out of her packaging and see how the figurine looks. So here we have is Jill Stingray right out of her packaging. As you can see here, you can see it is wrapped with plastic to protect the figurine during its shipment and stuff like that. There's not really too much to add, it's just almost just the base and the figurine. So let's just remove all of this excess plastic and see how the figurine looks up close. So here we have is the figurine's base, and just like every other pop-up parade figurine, I'm not going to go too much into it. It's basically just a black base. At the bottom here, just like with every other figurine, we do get its information such as the creator and other info for the series. And besides that, there's not really too much. You can kind of see here there's two little it seems like metallic inserts rather than just the plastic peg that I usually see on pop-up parades, but not really anything much too special. As you can see, it has a little bit of like almost a white acrylic or plastic there to hold onto her heels when you connect it to the base. But besides that, it's not really much else to show you. Again, it's a little bit translucent, but again, it's just like your typical pop-up parade. It's just a black base. So let's just move on to the actual figurine. Figurine of said character. So as you can see here, starting from her heel area, so just like I usually say, a lot of these pop-up parades tend to be a little bit of a mixed quality, where sometimes it's painted not the best and other time it's painted good. So here's an instant where the pop-up parade actually looks really well painted and decently sculpted. So as you can see, the paint here on her heels looks really nice. I don't really see anything bad, but again, disclaimer, this could be just my figurine, because I know sometimes I get a figurine that's not good. But again, they did an amazing paint job here, and you do see at the bottom here, we do see is the insert holes for said heel. But again, it looks really amazing, and I think they did a pretty nice job there. And as you can see, she has like a thing leggings on her, so it's not her pure skin where we see on her foot there, but the legging goes all the way up to her hip area, which looks decently painted. And her coat here goes around her foot, so I can't really show you all of it, but her coat is actually really flexible, So it's like a thin plastic where you can see I'm actually be able to open her coat. Not too much, but it's really flexible, so I'm not gonna flex it too much, but I think they did a pretty nice job having this, because usually when you see sculpted like fabric on these figurines, they tend to be super hard, but this is actually really thin, and again, like I stated earlier, it's actually really flexible. But I can't really show you too much of her legs because of this long coat that she does have, but I think they did a pretty decent job with all these crease lines they added on the top portion, where it's not just a flat, straight coat, you know, made it a little bit more realistic when it comes to all the little crease lines and details and stuff. You can kind of see here the little buttons here from the side are the same color as her jacket, so I'm not really certain. They could have maybe added a little bit more detail to that, but it is a pop-up parade, so it's something to be expected. So here's the bottom. I could open this coat area a little bit wide like this, and as I stated before, really flexible, and you can kind of see a lot of detail here on the bottom of her jacket. So here at the bottom we do see is a okay, so let me focus this a little bit more. It's a little bit hard to focus, but as you can see here, you see that they actually sculpted her little backside and a bit of her underwear here at the bottom, which I actually first thought that was something else, but it is her underwear because she does have leggings that go all the way to her hips. And as you can see, they sculpted it really nice. That's not me being biased, but it actually looks really well. You can kind of see her thighs are actually a little bit thick at the bottom, which looks pretty well sculpted. So I think this changes my opinion maybe just a little bit when it comes to the Pop Parade figurine. I think this is a pretty nice figurine now, so especially for the value. I didn't really expect that, but I think it's because I unboxed other figurines that recently didn't have any sculpt of the hip area. But besides that, you can see we do get a closer shot of her skirt, which they did add a little bit of crease lines, but it's a little bit straight towards the bottom. The paint here on her dress here looks alright. It's not the best, but it's, you know, it's decent. Here we have is her arm sculpt here, which looks okay. It looks a lot better than when we saw the detail on the skirt area, because it's her jacket folded up, so they did add a little bit of detail there. Here we have is her what would you call the part of the, like a hoodie section? Well, it's the fluffy area there, which it looks decent. It looks actually really detailed, especially with the individual like little strands or fur, and I think the fur area is like decently sculpted. And you can see here we have is her right arm holding up her cigarette in place there, and compared to the other pop-up we did with Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners, her cigarette's actually glued onto her hand, and it's actually really stiff, so I don't really think you're going to be worrying about losing this, but again, do be careful because I feel like this could snap if you put too much force on it. So here we have is a better look of her suit area. Well, when in the game she's not wearing her jacket, she does have this little suit while she's bartending. And again, I think they did a decent paint job. You can kind of see there's some areas that are not like the best, but it still looks quite decent. I think it captures it quite well. She does have two pink twin tails. I want to say ponytails, but it's twin tails that are actually a little bit flexible, not too much. Here's the back side of her back, but again, you can see it's a little bit flexible, but again, don't do this. I'm only showing you guys that you can. You can accidentally break it, so don't pull on her twin tails. But here's a closer shot of her side profile here, where you can see one ear on the side, and you see the sculpt on her face. And again, just like a lot of the other pop-up parades, I think they kind of focus a lot on the characters' faces, which you see here looks actually really well sculpted and well painted, which I think is mainly the focus when you look at a figurine. You at least want to have it like decently or well sculpted and, you know, painted. But you can see we have is the left and right side profiles of the face, which looks really nice. And here's the top of her hair, which actually looks really detailed. They did add a lot of lines to it, so it gives it a lot of more detail than some figurines where it's just plain flat, which is a little bit appreciative. And this is a pop-up L size, so you expect them to, you know, put a little bit more detail into the figurine than the regular pop-up parade sizes. But again, this is actually really well sculpted and really nice painted, and the addition at the bottom here of her skirt, which kind of threw me off a bit, but actually looks really nice. I may be a little bit biased for that, but again, it's really appreciated that they added a lot of detail to this Papa Parade figurine. But I think it really captures the character in her art style, because the game is like almost like a retro style 8-bit setting, but it's still really nice. So let's just connect it to her base. So that was Good Smell Company's Papa Parade L-size PVC figure of the character Jill Stingray from the visual novel game Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action. All in all, I gotta say is it's actually a really nice figurine. I think it really captures the style of the character Jill Stingray in a more of a, you know, anime-ish type style compared to when you're in game. And a lot of the characters are more of that like retro 8-bit style. I think they did a pretty amazing work making this into an actual figurine, and I think they painted it really well. There's some areas like her suit where there's some spots where it's like you can kind of see the paint's not the best, but it's still a, you know, really nice figurine. And that's kind of the reason why I somewhat like Papa Parades, because sometimes they capture more of the anime aesthetic of said series. Well, this is a video game, but when it comes to other figurines, they keep it more of the anime style for their figurines. Are they the best quality? No. I mean, sometimes it's like a roulette, but they're still an amazing figurine to own. And for this series, I think they did an amazing job making it into a figurine. So when it comes to the video game, I can't say it's for everyone, because I know there's a little bit of mixed feelings for the game. But again, I say find the game interesting. I say go check it out. If you like visual novels, go help support the creator. Since their next sequel game is in an indefinite delay, I think you should support the creators as much as you can. If they're able to bring back the series, they're able to recover from that delay. But anyways guys, that's gonna be the end of this one. So that was Jill Stingray's Papa Parade figurine. So I'll leave you guys off with the figurine rotating in 360. So, as always, thank you guys for the support. Always go support the original creators of the series. And as always, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. The series is great. Go check it out.
Time we touch, something courses through my blood, and I'm born anew. Can you feel this warmth too? I need you so much. I'm addicted to your love. Nothing I can do. I'm so helpless for you. Heavenly, I feel the stars align for eternity, till the end of time. Ecstasy, so burned into my mind. You're a drug for me, pure and crystalline. I'm absorbed within a haze, so consumed by you. Do you think of me too? Counting down the days, got me sleepless in a craze. I'm a slave to you, so damn helpless for you. Heavenly, I feel the stars align for eternity, till the end of time. Ecstasy, so burned into my mind. You're a drug for me, pure and crystalline.